And so it begins. Welcome, everybody. We are here to celebrate the 31 Days of Monsters returning. And October 1st, we will be launching again. Now, we're going to be at a different time this year. In the past, we've always launched the shows at 8 in the morning. But my schedule's changed a little bit. So now we're going to do it for lunch hour instead of breakfast. So the shows will be airing at noon. So hopefully you'll be able to catch those live. If you can't, not a problem. You can always watch them in the reruns. But we got a great list this year. I'm really, really proud of it. We got a lot of interesting things, some stuff I haven't seen. So we'll be maybe watching it for the first time together. A lot of different kind of genres and decades in which they were made. So should be a lot of fun. So without further ado, let me bring in my friend Shanthan Jetty, another monster kid. Hello, Shanth.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited. 'Tis the season for monsters, and excited, man.
Yeah, well, every season's the season for monsters. Let's face it.
That's right. Yeah,
when you're a monster kid, it's a 365.
Well, I'm really glad that we're doing this now because 1 a.m. Graham scares me.
1 a.m.
Yeah, 1 a.m. Graham.
I know what you're referring to. Yeah, he was a weird dude.
Yeah, he's he's gone now.
Mr.
Thank
Hyde.
God. That's right. But yeah, man, I'm checking out all the crazy stuff happening around New England. I live, in the heart of Lovecraft country, and so
cool.
Salem's just right up the way. So just so much, so many people are getting into the spirit. We're decorating the house. I'm ready to rock.
Nice. We actually have a Lovecraft movie on the list this year.
That's right.
So that's very cool. Let's say hey to the folks in the chat. Cigar Gangster is here. He says, good evening, everyone. Been looking forward to this announcement for the past 2 months. It's funny because, when I do this show, there are people that I don't see on regular streams, but they're always here for 31 Days of Monsters, which is really cool. Rick 1662, Dr. Mask is always here. Dan Genovese is always here. Hello, Dan. Jake Blues, JDC says hail. Only 16 more minutes. It's like having to wait for your parents to get up before we can run to the Christmas tree.
Love it.
Now that's a monster kid, right?
Amen.
I know you think I'm. Okay. A little reference to Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Which Aaron Lepresti does not like, but don't hold that against him. Go back his latest project. It's awesome. Yeah. H is for Heretic is here. Citizen Ronan. Rob Fellows, all the way from England. And he's got a great avatar. He's got a werewolf head with a Compass Comics hat. I love that. Huron the Steadfast, Nordic Nerd, Bloody Drake. He says he's a monster kid for life. Rob Younce is here. Haven't seen Rob in a while. Very cool. Tom Tuttle. The great Tom Tuttle is here. He says, bring on the monsters. Venom Bite. Bloody Drake. Oh my gosh. We got a great cast here today. Angry Gamer. It's not important. And Stat Zero. This is the year Graham watched Thing from Another World each day and tries to pass it off as a different movie. Well, Stat, I'm going to tell you this right now, and I'll tell all you guys. What I've decided is that the actual Halloween movie on October 31st is going to be the same every year. It's going to be The Thing from Another World. It was the Halloween movie for the first year, and it's my favorite movie. And to me, everything for Halloween should build up to it. So that's always going to be the Halloween movie going forward from now on.
Nice.
And if you like the movie Halloween, that's what they were watching, was The Thing from Another World. So I thought it was apropos. So what do you say we pull the list up here for everybody?
do
We'll
it.
talk about some of these movies, see which ones you've seen, and which ones you haven't. So here's the list, and I will post this list. I'll pin it to my X account, so you guys can reference it if you need it. I don't know if I can post it in the YouTube account, but I'll look and see. If I can, I will, and you'll be able to have it there too. So we're going to open up on day one with what I think is a really cool movie. It was suggested to me by Chuck Dixon, called
Oh,
Blood
wow.
Sky. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? Well, listen to the plot of this thing. This woman, it's a German film, and I believe this version is dubbed. It's on Netflix. This woman is going to America to see a blood specialist because she's got a rare blood disorder. And so she gets on a plane with her son, and the plane is hijacked by terrorists who want to destroy it. Turns out that the blood disease that this woman has is vampirism. She's a vampire. And they steal the medicine. They take the medicine away from her that's keeping her human. And so she reverts to vampire, full on vampire, and starts fucking them all up on the plane.
That's awesome. So it's vampires
really
on
cool.
a plane. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
And she's still fighting, she still has some of her humanity. So she's still trying to fight these urges and stuff. But at the same time, she's trying to protect her kid. That one's a really cool one. The Incredible Shrinking Man, Matheson story. Excellent film. I'm sure you've seen that one, Sean.
Yes, I've seen that one.
Yeah. That one is really, really good from beginning to end. 1957, 58, somewhere around there. 59, maybe. Great. We have a couple Tobe Hooper movies in the lineup this year. We have Life Force, which was suggested by Sean.
Yeah, it has the greatest special effect that you can put in a movie.
Is it the nude girl?
Yes. Yes. I'm so annoyed. Her name is escaping me right now. Was it Matilda?
Yes, it's Matilda something.
Yeah, and they asked Tobe Hooper, it was behind the scenes, or maybe it was the audio commentary for the Blu-ray, and they go, "Could you sum up this movie in one word?" And he said her name. But it's great. The effects are great, and she's quite the special effect as well. But
she's a wonderful special effect. It's a fun movie too. It's very 80s.
It's great.
Tobe Hooper's really good. Cat People, not the Val Lewton one, but the 1982 one with Nastassja Kinski. I love this movie. I'm not a fan of the Val Lewton one. I don't like his but he was the producer. I think Jacques Tourneur directed it, didn't he? But Val Lewton didn't like the monsters, so he liked to, hide all that stuff. And every monster kid loves the monsters. I want to see a monster. And so, he tries to finesse stuff too much for my taste. This version here, this Cat People one, not only is it cool, it's spooky, and it's sexy too. Kinski is smoking in this movie. I was at the Kubert School when this movie came out, and I remember all of us going to see it, and we were like, "Wow!"
Yeah, that would do it. I mean, and it's so strange too, because that's such a big aspect of why a lot of us get into this stuff. I think that's why I love the Universal original movies, but I love the Hammer movies too, is because we had this amazing breakthrough in the late 70s, early 80s with special makeup effects. And now it's like all your dreams can happen on the screen if you've got the right artist behind it. And great flick.
Yeah, Definitely. Cloverfield, which is a American kaiju film,
Mhm.
a point of view type story, which I think it's J.J. Abrams, but it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of the opposite of what we were just talking about, because the whole appeal of that was to hide the monster, in terms of the marketing and
Right.
things like that. But still, yeah. It's a
And even
solid
in the
film.
film that everything happens so quickly or at distances and stuff, but because it's a point of view film,
Mhm.
you can't have those close up stuff. So I think it really works in this case,
Yeah.
by hiding the monster or only seeing the destruction and the action and stuff. I think was a cool call. Um,
Nope.
here's a
Please, go ahead.
favorite, a classic Abbott and Costello,
Yeah.
"Hold That Ghost." This is one of their early ones from
Mhm.
1941. Fun little. It's not technically truly a ghost story, if truth be
Yeah.
told. It's more of a gangster tale, but it's in there anyway.
Mhm. Yeah, it deserves to be. It deserves to be there.
Yeah, I've done Meet Frankenstein. I debated on putting Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer Boris Karloff because that's a favorite. I really love that one, but I chose this one this year because it had ghost in the title.
I love Abbott and Costello, man. They were talking about doing the Universal Monsters theme park down in Florida. I go, could you just put an animatronic Abbott and Costello somewhere in there reacting to the monsters? Because those guys, man, that my kids grew up with Abbott Costello meet Frankenstein the Wolfman. I raised them right, Graham.
That's
And,
good, boy.
yeah, they love that.
Nice. Uh, so next up we have Wolfen with Jack Nicholson,
Wow, yeah.
which is an interesting film. So we got a couple werewolf films here. A Company of Wolves, which is sort of
Mhm.
a dreamy take on Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. You've seen that one?
Sorry, which one? I was just looking up. Wolfen isn't the one with Jack Nicholson, is it? I just was checking that. The Wolf
Oh,
was.
you're right. You're right.
This one is.
That's
I
the
was
one.
just double checking.
Albert Finney, right?
Yes, with Albert Finney. Yep.
Albert Finney. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. What's the one with Jack Nicholson?
Wolf with
Wolf.
Michelle Pfeiffer and James Spader and all them. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that one's not as good as Wolfen. The one with Albert Finney is
I'll
much
agree.
better.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
100%.
I undersold this one. So then coming in at number 9, we'll have From Dusk Till Dawn,
Hell yeah.
which is a vampire film from Quentin Tarantino. Well, Quentin Tarantino's in it, but I believe it was Robert Rodriguez who directed this one.
Yeah. Salma
Uh,
Hayek might have been in it. I don't remember. And
I don't
please
really
ask. I
remember
have no
her.
recollection.
Yeah, something with about a snake too.
That's right. And the Frazetta painting for the movie. So one of
Oh
the
yeah, that's
late
right.
Frazetta works.
That's
So
right.
man,
I have to say, of all the lists, this one's got the most smoke shows in it.
I was noticing
So
that.
yeah, so we
We
got
need it.
we got Life Force, we got Cat People, we got Selma in
Mhm.
Funhouse, or not Funhouse, Dust Till Dawn. So
Mhm.
yeah. And next we have the sequel or semi-sequel to Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I actually like better.
Mhm.
Have you seen this one?
I haven't seen this one. I saw the first one, but is this the one that has oh my gosh, one of my favorite actors. Oh,
It's John Goodman.
John Goodman. Thank
Yeah,
you. Fantastic. What a
yeah.
great actor.
This is kind of like one of those claustrophobic horror tales,
Mhm.
and it's really the horrors about the people that are stuck together. Um, but in the third act, it completely turns around on you, and you're like,
Mm,
"Whoa, what?"
dang.
And then you realize it's a sequel to the first one. So it's pretty cool. I recommend this one.
Yeah.
What's next? Oh, The Fun House. Here's another Toby Hooper
Mhm.
film. Not one of his better known ones, but I saw this at the movie theaters on a date, and I
Mm.
thought it was kind of cool. I haven't seen it since, so it'll be fun to watch it again and see what I think about it. Next up, we have the Village of the Damned. This is John Carpenter's version,
Mhm.
1995, with Christopher Reeve. And it's interesting. When my mom was dying of lung cancer, I was sitting with her and she had her TV on. This is the last movie we watched together.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm sorry it was this damn movie. Not because it's bad, but just because of the nature of it, of the
Well,
situation.
though, I think that it's one of those things that you're making me realize as we go down this list that outside of the 1930s and 50s, and maybe it's just how many decades pass, the 80s, late 70s and 80s were one of the greatest times for monster movies ever. And monster auteur or whatever, I don't really believe in auteur theory, but monster creators, Rick
Mhm.
Baker, and of course, Rob Bodine, is it Bodine or Botine? I'm sorry.
Protein, yeah.
All those guys. Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing creators.
Yeah. Was it Dick Smith who started it? And
Yeah. Dick Smith. What a
John
legend.
Chambers,
Mhm.
that line of succession from Jack Pierce, or from Lon Chaney Sr. to Jack Pierce to John Chambers to and on.
Yeah.
Just yeah, you're right. There's some really fun, particularly in the 80s, fun 80s films. They're just over the top shit, which you
Yeah.
just gotta love.
Well, I sent you, some photos when I took the trip with my family down to Universal,
Hmm.
and one of the things that was really affecting to me is I went into the Universal Studios, the big store they have right when you walk into the park, and they had pictures of all the famous important people in Universal history, and they had a picture right on the wall of Jack Pierce, and it put a huge smile on my face.
Oh, cool.
It's like Jack Pierce is respected here in this park because
It's
he
about
is
time they fired him
amazing,
sort of
right?
unceremoniously, and
Absolutely right.
put
Yeah,
Bud Westmore in and his
Bud
crew.
Westmore.
Yeah, the
Ugh.
guy who took all the credit for everything.
That's right.
He
He
was like the
signed
Bob
everything.
Kane of Universal.
You said it. You said it. He was. No doubt. Yep.
Yeah, the
Ah,
least talented,
Snake. Yep.
but took all the credit. So where are we here? Village of the Damned. Okay, In the Mouth of Madness,
Mhm.
another John Carpenter film from
Yep.
1984. I have not seen this yet,
I haven't either.
but I've been wanting to see it. It has Charlton Heston in it, and uh, the main guy is Sam Neill.
Mhm.
So this one should be kind of interesting. I do like Carpenter films. Then we have the H.P. Lovecraft one, The
Yep.
Dunwich Horror. Another one I have not seen.
I've
Um,
never seen it because I'm a Lovecraft fan, and Lovecraft fans tell me not to see it. But for you, Graham, I'm
yes,
watching this movie. It's falling. It's happening. It's happening now.
I've read that too. So I was like,
Yep.
all right, I'll give it a whirl though.
Yep. I'm gonna give it a whirl. Yep. It's
70s.
happening.
It's a 70s film.
Mhm.
Um, this one I just recently watched called Totally Killer.
Mm.
It's currently on, uh, I think it's Amazon Prime, so it's
Oh.
free. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. And this is, if you like 80s, slasher films, you'll love this because it starts off today, and they're talking about this serial killer from the 80s,
Mhm.
who killed all these high school cheerleader girls, and then all of a sudden he shows up and in 2024 on the night of Halloween and kills this woman who was friends with them as kids. So the woman's daughter uh, goes back in time with a time machine to see to change history so that the killer gets caught and those girls don't get killed, and her mother obviously doesn't get killed. So she goes
Right.
back in time to change stuff. So it's sort of like an 80s slasher, uh Back to the Future.
Wow.
It's
That's. I mean, genre. There was so much more fun in genre. I feel there was so many more different kinds of movies before right now, and I think we might get back there very soon. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at this list, and I've been watching nothing but old movies, but there's so much on this list I haven't seen.
oh
I
good.
can't wait. Yeah.
Creep Show is next.
Of course, I've seen that. Yeah,
That's
that's
classic,
required.
based on Stephen King's
Mhm.
writings. Bernie Wrightson drew the comic.
Yeah.
It's a anthology, so it's sort of like a send up of the EC Comics, is what it is,
Mhm.
really. So that's kind of cool. The next one I have not seen, but I've always wanted to see, Queen of Outer Space.
I haven't seen it.
These guys go to, I believe it's Venus, these astronauts, and they find Zsa Zsa Gabor there, and she's the she's the queen of all these chicks on this female planet.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm expecting this one to be campy fun.
This list is great so far. This is, I mean, honestly, this is a great list because there's a lot of stuff on here I haven't seen, and I think it fits the mood really well that we're in. Some fun, some play, some great creature scares. You know, it's
Exactly,
great.
exactly. It really, like I said, I was really proud of this. It ticks off a
Mhm.
lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Um, if you ever want to see the original origin of the Incredible Hulk, watch
Mhm.
The Amazing Colossal Man,
Wow.
because it is very clear that Stan and Jack saw this movie.
Yes.
Uh, and Jack, in particular, you'll see some frames from this that match up with Hulk #1. So I have no doubt that this movie was a huge inspiration for the
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk, of Hulk #1, the comic book. They did a sequel called The War of the Colossal Beast
Mm.
2, and I did that one a few years ago, but I never did the original. So we're
Oh, there
gonna
you
we're
go.
gonna do that one. And this one here, I have it on the list because I want to watch it, but I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. And this is
Mm.
the new Salem's Lot, which is coming out on Netflix. Um, October 3rd, I think, something like that.
Okay.
It's something like
Yeah,
that.
it's I think it's October. I was talking to my wife was a huge Stephen King fan and still is since she was a kid.
Mhm.
And so I was telling her I think it's coming out October 11th, but
Okay.
I've been doing a recut of the original, not a total recut, but a recut of the original made for television movie
The Toby
to
Hooper.
just, yeah, tighten up a few editing moments that are very, TV or commercial breaks and things like that and
Right.
timing things. Because I think that's got to be one of the greatest Nosferatu inspired designs ever is in that
It's
movie.
amazing.
It scares me
I love that
every
miniseries.
time.
I
You know,
I
the
I
first appearance with his face.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, when he blows through the window and becomes like a swirl and rises up and, like, unceremoniously breaks the neck of the parents, and that's it, they're done. It's
Yeah,
just like, "Holy shit, what just happened?"
yeah,
And then James Mason is so great,
love him. Yeah,
Barlow's, human helper, so to speak.
mhm.
When he's talking to that guy and he says, "Well, when are we gonna meet, Mr. Barlow?" "Soon, soon. You'll love Mr. Barlow. Oh, you'll enjoy Mr. Barlow, and Mr. Barlow will enjoy you."
I love that.
I love that.
So
I love how he says that.
our New Year's Eve celebration in our family always involves the great James Mason because we do a movie marathon of Journey to the Center of the Earth
Oh.
and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, I love
And so we
20,000.
had we spent, sorry, yeah, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Yeah, the great performance he gives in all of those movies. I love that guy in everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm sure you saw, Frankenstein: The True Story,
Yes.
with him as Dr. Polydorus,
Hmm.
Um, I think that's the first time I ever saw him in a movie is when I was a
Oh,
kid
really?
and I saw Frankenstein: The True Story, and when they hung him up, when the monster hangs him up on the mast and the lightning strikes him in his hand and he becomes like a skeleton, that just freaked me out.
Yeah, that'd do it.
Yeah.
That would do it.
So next up we have, I'm not sure, but I think it's Michael Landon's debut. I
Oh,
Was a
wow.
Teenage Werewolf from like 1958, 59.
That's a great flick. I love that
Yeah.
flick.
He plays the angry young teenager in that very well.
Mhm.
Next up, we have The Vampire Lovers. This is where Hammer decided to, go all the way. They first showed blood, first showed bosom,
Mhm.
and all that. But in this one, they'd go full on nudity.
Yeah. So it's so funny because this movie is a huge influence on my book Nosfero, because the lead in Nosfero, Laurel, was inspired by Madeline Smith in this movie,
Oh,
and the vampire villainess in this book was inspired by Ingrid Pitt. So
oh,
this is
you got it.
yeah, I got big screen. I'm like,
You got your
who's that
solo.
guy? So yeah, so whenever you guys see and it's not a dead ringer, but whenever you see Laurel in in this story, there's a little bit of Madeline Smith in there, and then when I was doing my early kind of sketches, I don't want to spoil anything here, but when I was doing my I don't know if I have any close-ups of her that where you'd really see it, but yeah, it was Ingrid Pitt was my inspiration for that. So this movie is it's just great. It's got some really great color and design. I don't know if Jack Asher did the lighting or cinematography for it, but Ingrid Pitt is a legend, and she's a
Yeah.
true icon of horror. And my favorite story is she escaped Nazi Germany. She ended up in the UK. She then gets into cinema. And the thing that's so amazing about her is she passed away at a ripe old age on her way to a dinner fans were having for her. So she went out like a gangster, loved
Ah,
by horror fans, and loved them back. And great friends with Peter Cushing. What a legend.
that's very cool. I
Yeah.
read recently when Bela Lugosi died that
Yeah.
Vincent Price and Peter Lorre went to the funeral, and they
Mm,
saw him laying there, and he had the Dracula cape on and the
yeah.
ring and all that. And Peter Lorre leaned over to Vincent Price and says, "Do you think we should put a stake through his heart just to be sure?"
I love Peter Lorre. I used to bang on friends' doors when I was in college, and when they'd open the door, I'd grab them and go, "You must hide me, Rick!"
Rick! Oh, I love Peter Lorre. He's
He's
so
so good,
great.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, his acting saved his daughter's life. Now that's a pretty impressive actor.
How
When the
how so?
well, her oh gosh, who were the famous guys who would impersonate police officers, the serial killers? It was the in the 70s. I think it was the 70s. Was it the Hillside Strangler? Was it? I forget who it was. But someone can look this up. But his daughter got pulled over by them. She was going to be their target, and they
Oh,
saw her license and went, "Are you Peter Lorre's daughter?" And she was like, "Yeah." And they let her go because they
whoa.
liked Peter Lorre.
No shit.
I'm not kidding. Someone in the chat
Wow,
will
that's a
find it.
cool story. I had never
How's
heard that.
that? Yeah. And she didn't find that out till they were arrested. And she saw that and she was like, "Oh God."
Those were the cops.
Those weren't cops,
Wow.
man. So yeah, someone will find it in the chat, but I was shocked when I learned that.
Wow. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's very cool.
Hmm.
So next up we have David Cronenberg's Videodrome
There you go.
with James Woods. Again, this is one I have not seen, so I'm looking forward to seeing this. Kind of trippy and heady. Psycho Gorman. I just came across this movie, and again, I have not seen it, but it's just this is a horror comedy type thing.
Mhm.
Um, these kids unearth this alien force, this alien creature, like a despot. Um, but they also find this it's almost like a genie in a bottle story. They find this stone that can
Mhm.
control him, and they can make him do whatever they want. And so once he's released, these bounty hunters who've been searching for this guy in outer space come to Earth to destroy him and Earth and stuff. And these kids are, they're fucking around with him, and it looked kind of funny. It could just be, it could be low budget crap, but we'll find out together. But
Oh yeah.
it kind of sounded neat.
Yeah.
This is another one that is a horror comedy, Freaks of Nature.
Mhm.
And in this one, vampires, zombies, and humans all coexist together in this world. And there's an alien invasion, and a human, a vampire, and a zombie have to band together to fight off this alien invasion.
I love it. I listen,
You
Graham,
can't make this stuff up.
you know what's funny, Graham? You're the one person who should know that you can, because whenever I see this stuff, that is what I was explaining this to my wife when we were in Universal. I go, this is Graham's time period in Monsters, like when anything was possible, like the 50s, and like when I get your books, it's the same great vibe where you just I don't know how to describe it. There's this infectious kind of fun to even the stuff that people might not think is great. I've bought Blu-rays of public domain films because I love them so much. I want to have them in my collection. There's stuff that is so out there and so fun. I love it.
That's great. So next up, we have another horror comedy, Bubba Hotep. Have you seen that?
Drama. It's a serious drama with probably the most realistic portrayal of John F. Kennedy that I've ever seen.
And Elvis.
Spot on. That's right.
It's got Bruce Campbell in it playing an older Elvis Presley. So say no more. I'm in.
And the actor who plays JFK, he's I know him from so many different things.
Yeah, Ozzie Davis.
Thank you. Ozzie Davis, who I believe hit it out of the park in Joe versus the Volcano as the limo driver who basically explains life to him in so many words.
Right.
Great presence, man. Terrific actor.
And if you don't know, Ozzie Davis is like at the time of this film was probably in his 60s, 70s. And he's black and he's playing JFK. Yeah. So
well, they dyed him so that people wouldn't believe him, right? That was the great. He was so. I mean, that movie is fantastic.
That one's it's over the top. I think it should be a lot of fun. Now we got a couple more that I have not seen, but they've come recommended, and I've read up on them, and horror people love these movies. And one is called The Witch, which is a very recent film. And Lake Mungo. I forget who it was who said that if somebody's connected with horror, is that movie really scared them. Lake Mungo.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Have I seen The Witch?
Or Lake Mungo?
I have not seen Lake Mungo. I've seen The Witch. So I've got to check out Lake Mungo. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay.
Then we have Joe Dante with Piranha, which is a fun 70s, Jaws ripoff.
Yeah. Corman, right? Was that Roger Corman?
Yeah, well, Joe Dante directed it. I think it was produced by American International, though.
Oh, that's right.
And I think the screenplay was Sayles. Not James Sayles. What's his name? Shit, can't remember he's an actor and a. Anthony Gonzalez Clark says he recommended a Lake Mungo.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. What's okay? John Sayles.
Yeah. Chat's always got.
Well, Cole King says he really dislikes The Witch. All right.
Yeah, it's got its moments. I think the sets were great. Or I should say not the sets, but they were sets, but the stuff they built around it, everything was great. To me, I would say it's probably his most interesting film he's made. I actually thought it was pretty solid, but I don't like anything the director's done since. I'm terrified because he's tackling Nosferatu, which is one of my favorite movies, the original silent. So I'm like, please don't mess this up. But what are you going to do?
I didn't like the remake of Nosferatu with Klaus.
Oh, I know you. You told me you were like that, Klaus Kinski. No, man. No, not
I
did
not like that one at all. Then we go to Gorgo. I think it's the first British kaiju film. This is one of Chuck Dixon's favorites. As a kid, he loved Gorgo. I remember when I had seen it was a color film, and the prints were just dog shit. They looked terrible. The colors were all washed out. The contrast was bad. And as a visual guy, I hate that. I hate movies that have not been taken care of. But the Blu-ray came out a couple of years ago and it's been totally remastered, and the colors are great. It's gorgeous. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then we get up to the eve of Halloween, and we have George Pal's When Worlds Collide. Awesome sci-fi film.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're going to end on the big one, my very favorite movie of all time, The Thing from Another World.
Excellent.
So there it is. There it
That's
is.
how you do it. Yeah, great list. Great
Yeah,
list. Yeah, I mean,
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's weird because, for those of us who are monster kids and monster fanatics and have probably raised our kids to be monster kids, or at least tolerate our monster kidness, the thing that gets me about all of this stuff is that you don't want to watch movies that are all the same note all the way through. So we plan what we're going to watch, right? There's certain things that you want to watch throughout the season, and this is a heck of a great list. I haven't seen some of this stuff. I'm really excited to see it, and yeah, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun because I haven't seen a lot of these either. I've been doing this now on YouTube for at least 4 or 5 years. And before that, I used to do it on Facebook.
Mhm.
So this is somewhere around the 10th year that I've been doing it. On Facebook, it used to be just a daily post. It wasn't like we would watch the trailer and talk about it, obviously. And I've tried not to repeat myself. I try to find new movies every year. The first ones, obviously, were all the classic Universals, Evan Costello Meet Frankenstein, The Thing from Another World, War of the Worlds, all the classics got eaten up first. And so now I've had to expand it and look around and find. I don't have a lot of Hammer films in any of my list because I'm just not that big a fan of the Hammer stuff.
So
And I think the reason is the cinematography in it is everything is lit the same, like stage light, where it's just there's really no shadows, there's no ambiance to it. It's
I'll
color,
change your mind.
and it's and
I'm gonna work on changing your mind, Grandma. Because here's the thing. First of all, I was never into Hammer films, ever. I was never into them. I was not a Hammer horror fan or any of that stuff. My good friend, a friend of mine who is a YouTuber, lives in Oklahoma, named Michael King. He's actually does Star Trek fan films. Starship Valiant is his. So he's a huge Star Trek fan, terrific guy. And his childhood hero was Peter Cushing in the Hammer movies. And he got emotional when he was talking about him in this particular Hammer film. And I would say that anyone who hasn't seen the Hammer horror films should never have watched them before they were remastered and reworked so that you could see Jack Asher's brilliant lighting, not in all the movies, but there was this golden era with the Hammer horror look that influenced all the crazy color palettes you see in Frazetta and oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. One of the biggest horror painter, Famous Monsters covers. What the hell is wrong with me? Basil Gogos. So all of those guys,
Basil Gogos.
Yes, those beautiful colors
Basil
they
Gogos.
would use. Yeah, great stuff. And so I would say this is that there's at least I can think of a handful of movies that if you haven't seen, and if you have, oh, sorry, yeah, it's I don't know why I'm freezing up. That's weird. But there's a handful of movies that are worth.
It happened to
worth
me the
checking.
other day.
Yeah, am I live now? Am I still frozen? Am I still frozen, or am I back?
You're kind of just going in and out, like you're frozen right
Oh,
now.
geez. That's weird. I don't know what's causing that. Could be the weather. But anyway, yeah, there's some great ones I'll suggest. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Is your wife using a microwave oven?
I don't think anyone's using a microwave. No, I don't think that's what it is, but we'll see. Oh my goodness.
Okay. That happens to
Go
me,
ahead.
like, because oh, that could be me. I'm showing a unstable connection right now too. So
can you hear me now? Is it all
power,
right?
We'll power through it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I freezing?
No, you're good on my end.
Oh, okay. What was I gonna say? Oh, you're going in and out on my stream, not Shanth. Okay.
That's weird because I'm coming through your stream. So maybe it's the camera or something. I don't know. That's weird.
No, I think right now it's my Wi-Fi. It's showing that it's unstable, but that's weird. It's showing it's solid right here.
Huh.
Huh. Damn technology.
Yep, that's all right. Well, listen, I'm excited and I'm glad
Yeah.
that I'll make a list of some Hammer movies that I would swear by. So then, you can take a look at them and decide what you think. And then you and I will just plan a trip out to the West Coast to hold
Mhm.
Lepresti down until he likes Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein and the Wolfman. Like it has to be done. He has to be stopped.
Yes.
Oh my God.
He's spreading way too much hate.
Yeah.
We can't
Yeah.
have that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, gang. Since the internet is bugging out on us here, we're going to sign off. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys.
And hopefully we won't have this problem when we're streaming the show. And thanks, Sean, for coming on and
Hey, my
discussing
pleasure.
the list. It's great seeing you.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next time, guys. Have a great night. Bye bye.
Take care.